Law 1975. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In event of emergency, the proper method of exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase, out the front door, and move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided at the front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones and place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the council chambers to do so. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Kalbas.
Here.
Koziel. Here. Brown.
Here.
Armstead.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
I'm here with the microphone on.
Sadowski.
Here.
Sheehy.
Here.
Yamikaitis.
Here.
Frazier.
Here.
Kaczynski.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
You have to turn it off after you finish talking.
The hearing on the SID budget was scheduled for tonight, is canceled as the budget needed to be revised and is being reintroduced. Ordinance on hearing. This is the date, time established for public hearings for ordinance on hearing. Mr. Clerk, 5636.
Bond ordinance providing for an appropriation of $50,000 for citywide curb and sidewalk reconstruction and authorizing the issuance of $47,500 in bonds or notes for financing of same.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone wishes to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Mr. President, I ask that the hearing is closed and we introduce ordinance number 56-36 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas.
Yes.
Koziel.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Somebody has to turn off your mic for me to talk. Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Sheehy.
Yes.
Yamikaitis.
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. 5637.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $440,000 for sanitary sewer improvements and authoring the issuance of $418,000 in bonds or notes for financing of same.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone wishes to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Council President, I'd like to close the hearing on 5637 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas.
Yes.
Koziel.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Sheehy.
Yes.
Yamikaitis.
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. 5638.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $106,500 for acquisition of a remount ambulance for the fire department and authorizing the issuance of $101,175 in bonds or notes for financing of same.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone wishes to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I ask that the hearing be closed on ordinance 5638 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas.
Yes.
Koziel.
Yes.
Brown. Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Sheehy.
Yes.
Yamikaitis.
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. 5639.
amending ordinance number 55-39, authorizing the leasing of a portion of property commonly known as Old Firehouse Number 1, 201 Southwood Avenue, Block 450, Lot 9.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone who wishes to be heard on the ordinance? Then I'll ask for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask the hearing.
Would you come up, please? Make your statement in reference to 5639.
Okay, thank you. Should I turn it off after or just leave it on?
Leave it on.
Okay, thank you. I just want to know who we're leasing this to. Who's the group we're leasing it to?
Chief?
It's a nonprofit agency, veterans, homeless vets raising funds and food program for the homeless vets.
Oh, okay, that sounds like a great idea. Thank you.
Okay, motion for 5639.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask the hearing be closed and ordinance 5639 be passed. I seek a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Yes. We'll move on to the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless the council member or citizen so request. In the event, the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in normal sequence on the agenda. We have items 1 through 4. Is anybody in the audience on my right wish to discuss anything on the consent agenda? In the center and on my left. Okay. Ask for a motion.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda items 1 through 4 and ask for a second.
Second. Yes.
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 Yes. I'd like to move into committee reports from the members of the governing body. Councilman Colibus.
Thank you, Council President. I have a brief report. Tonight, I just want to thank DPW and Public Property for all the work they do around the city. I know it's been very warm out these last couple of weeks, and they're out there every day making sure the parks and every public property is maintained properly, and especially important through the city with the children out on summer vacation. It's also good to see, and I'm glad we initiated again this year, that we have the teenagers working for the city help again. So it's good to see the little jobs that we need done, especially painting curbs. It really makes a difference in the town if you go through. So it's good to see them out. I just want everybody to know, I mean, with the heat, to take advantage of the things we have in Linden that are inside. And if go to the library, especially if you're a student, we have a summer reading list through the Board of Ed that you need to be working on. So it's a good advantage on a hot day to maybe go in there and do some schoolwork. I know it may not seem like school, but to get it done because it might be too hot to stay outside and participate in activities because it's unhealthy. And also take advantage of the cooling centers we have in the city. Well, last month I also read the places you can go if it is too hot. And remember to keep hydrated. It's good to see also, even with this heat, that the day camps and parks are fully attended. I've been driving around town, and there's a lot of activity in these parks. And again, be careful in the heat, but it's good to see that these programs that we offer are being utilized. And it's good because the last couple of years, I've seen a lack of children or teenagers going to the park, but I've seen that even in this heat, it's been very well attended and utilizing everything we have to offer. And believe me, it is a good programs that we offer. I just want to make First Ward residents aware of, and citywide residents here, I keep on saying that last month council passed and adopted a four-way stop at the intersection of Gessner and Summit as of July 23rd, they'll be in place. There's warning signs up there now, so that is right at the corner of the high school where the rock is, and then hopefully this four-way stop will alleviate the accidents that have occurred over the past many years and cut down on speeding that people cut, instead of going on St. George Avenue, they cut through Gessner as a throughway. So this stop sign, it's been posted for a while, so hopefully this will, again, alleviate the congestion in the morning, especially when school starts, and the speeding that occurs throughout that street. And hopefully we'll work on more four-way stops or more ways to alleviate the speeding again on these side streets. Besides that, if anybody has any questions, concerns, you can reach me at 925-5568. This concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Cozio.
Thank you, Council President. If anybody out there is witnessing a little confusion, we have new technology here. We have to push a button to speak, but only 4 microphones we heard today can be on at one time. So there's a lot of this, so bear with us. I have a lot to report. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as I can because we don't have a very complicated agenda. Municipal budget method, just recently we passed our budget for this year. I would like to commend Council and our Treasury Department for, we had a meeting of the whole recently to discuss preliminary steps in the development of next year's budget, and workbooks on zero-based budgeting were distributed to all members, and I commend everybody for that. Hopefully we'll be able to save a little in some areas, but what it does is it just gives us an opportunity to look at budgeting a little bit differently, starting at zero and building to, basically what we need. So I'm happy that Council has taken that commitment seriously. Technology Committee. An ordinance on first reading this month provides for an appropriation of $250,000 for the acquisition of municipal technology upgrades and computer-related equipment for the municipality's non-public safety departments. If you remember last month, funding for the police and fire department's technology upgrades was secured. So hopefully we've discussed this for 3 or 4 months in a row, and we're catching up. Some of our technology is some of our computers are 9, 10, 11 years old. We can't even get parts for them anymore, not to mention service contracts. So the committee will convene hopefully next week to evaluate the results of a needs assessment for the development of a new municipal website design, and also what kind of material the different departments would desire to put on the website so it makes the departments more efficient, and we can download a lot of our information that now people come to City Hall for. Special Improvement District, the SID Committee. The budget will be reintroduced tonight, as Council President mentioned. The committee will meet tomorrow evening with updates expected on the downtown awning replacement, facade improvements on Wood Avenue. We will hopefully see a working design of the Shop Linden Downtown SID website. We're developing a website that is going to be very informational. It's going to be aside from the municipal website in that it's going to help draw people downtown. You'll see what kind of businesses we have, where the parking is. If businesses and business owners want to buy into it, and I don't say buy in, but agree with the idea, they can post coupons and different kind of information on there. So it's going to be a portal where you could find out about our downtown and hopefully drive people back to shop downtown and people from other areas to come downtown as well. Hopefully next week I will have a working model of that on a computer. If not, I will have a static copy so people can take a look at that. We have made efforts in including the cleaning of East Elizabeth Avenue municipal parking lot, and the cleaning and rehabilitation of the utility poles, power washing of Wood Avenue pavers and streetscape, and we're even looking at exploring the possibility of replacing some uneven pavers. Talk more about that. The Revenue Enhancement Committee. We agreed to solicit information. We're going to meet Thursday, in fact. We're going to solicit information from municipal marketing firms, these types of which develop innovative and revenue-generating partnerships and programs between the public and private sector to allow local governments to raise revenue, hopefully without raising taxes in some cases. Community assets and properties are leveraged for sponsorships, advertising, naming rights, and other revenue-generating programs, ranging from space recycling and beverage vending to banking and telecommunication contracts. So we're going to look at some alternate methods, and maybe we can generate some income. Specific to the Second Ward, the West Elizabeth Avenue Flood Control Project, still heavily underway. Engineering Department mentioned to me that they may need to dump a huge amount of additional dirt, which may or may not be contaminated. We will find that out. On Marion Avenue, a footprint of about 160 feet by 25 feet, just off of West Elizabeth Avenue. I let Mr. Verchik know tonight I wasn't happy about that idea. Maybe we should look for another place to store that dirt, but it's a very tight area. We have some material being stored at the United Lacquer abandoned property on West Elizabeth, but it really hasn't disrupted the area that much, although I'm sure the residents in the area would disagree, but they have been very, very patient with us, and I think when this is all finished, it's going to mean a lot during those heavy rainstorms. But you heard Mr. Colibus speak about traffic. This month, 2 safety and pedestrian warning stanchions were placed at the DeWitt and Elm Street and Henry Street intersections, and I thank the LPD for that. They originally placed 4, but they were placed where they were placed was proving difficult for motorists to negotiate around them and turning from DeWitt Street, so they were pulled, but it has slowed traffic down quite a bit, and I appreciate that help. I'm awaiting the results of several traffic studies for both Style Street and West Blanky intersection and the DeWitt Street corridor from Curtis to West Blanky, in hopes that the data will prove the necessity of a 4-way stop at West Henry. When people come from and travel the DeWitt Street from St. George's Avenue and come down the hill to Curtis Street, there's really nothing until the light at Knopf Street. We've had several accidents at Elm and Henry and DeWitt, so if we can get a 4-way stop there to slow traffic down, that would mean a lot, and I'm hoping that that data comes back positively. I'm asking for another traffic study at West Elizabeth Avenue and Wood Avenue for the possibility of establishing a left turn only lane on Wood Avenue traveling southerly, turning onto East Elizabeth Avenue. Thank you, Public Properties, for all your help with the playground. It was resurfaced at Noski Park in the 2nd Ward. It is lined for basketball and paddle activities. However, we did have some residents call and ask about hopscotch and 4 squares. We didn't forget about you. We're going to get out there and do that as soon as we can. And it did receive some soil to fill a grade problem between the court and the rest of the play area. So we thank you for that. Overgrown foliage in Westbrook, as I was speaking to some constituents over the weekend, I did take a look at the length of the Westbrook, and I spoke to Public Works today, and hopefully they can get that on their schedule. We did it about 4 or 5 years ago, where they entered the brook and cut the foliage, because it just tends to grow into the brook. We haven't had a lot of water, so there's not a lot of debris in the brook, but from Curtis Street to at least West Blanky to cut all the foliage back so that there's no problem and we don't have any issues with homeowners. Again, removal of trees. We had 2 large dead trees removed this past week from the 2nd Ward, which have been there for quite a while. I will continue to identify trees, and please, if there's any doubt, do not cut a tree down yourself. If there's any issue, if you're in doubt, please call me or Public Works Department to just make sure we get it on the list and that you have approval to take the tree down. There are penalties for cutting a city tree down yourself. That's all I have. Thank you, Council President.
Hey, Councilman Brown?
No report.
Councilman Armstead?
Yes, Mr. President, thank you very much. I have the following Personal and Finance Committee actions requested, but prior to reading the report, I'm going to, as usual, allow the public to have questions on the particular items, and if they choose to, they may do so as now. Okay, seeing no questions from the public, approval is requested for the following Personal and Finance actions. I'm going to read them one at a time and request a vote. Item number 1, in the division of purchasing, the approval to transfer Jessica Slawinski from Central Dispatch to the purchasing office as a clerk 2 at her present salary of $47,955 effective July 18, 2012. Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Clerk?
Yes.
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 Item number 2, in the municipal court, the approval to transfer Jasmine Still, student assistant, to the city clerk's office at no increase in salary, retroactive to July 10th, 2012. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Item number 3, in the Police Department, the hiring of Cynthia Cosby Woods as a public safety telecommunicator trainee at the annual salary of $33,234, effective July 18, 2012, to fill an existing vacancy. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 No.
Yes.
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 Item number 4, in the Police Department, the hiring of Nicole Andrews as a public safety telecommunicator trainee at the annual salary of $33,234, effective July 18, 2012, to fill an existing vacancy. Move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Four.
Yes.
Yes. And Councilwoman Rashana Cosby Hurling, you have a comment?
No. I was instructed by the city attorney that because this person's related to me on number 3, that I'm going to change my vote from yes to an abstention.
Thank you. Ms. Armstead?
Yes. Item number 5, in the Police Department, the hiring of Rebecca Titoli as a public safety telecommunicator trainee, annual salary $33,234, effective September 1st, 2012, contingent upon the anticipated resignation of Bart Glab. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Item number 6, in the Police Department, the hiring of Matthew Bermudez as a per diem public safety telecommunicator trainee at an hourly rate of $10 an hour, effective July 18, 2012, to fill an existing vacancy. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Item number 7, in the Municipal Court, the approval to hire Vivian Ziobro as a part-time student assistant at an hourly rate of $8 an hour, effective July 18, 2012, to fill an existing vacancy. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Item number 8, personnel required to carry out the Department of Public Property and Community Services seasonal programs. The list is on file on the Treasurer's office. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Item number 9, the payment of bills totaling $1,279,232.54. The bills have been signed by the mayor, council president, and finance chairman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. Move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Item number 10, we are in receipt of the investments made by the city treasurer for the month of June at a rate of 0.75%. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 The following report is from the License Inspector's Office. The City Clerk's Licensing Division is submitting this monthly report for the month of June 2012. The office issued 238 miscellaneous licenses and collected $5,576. And finally, Mr. President, just have some general thoughts and just some food for thought for the people in the audience. As many of you know, over the last few weeks, there's been a number of tragedies, not only in Linden, but in Rawway and in Clark. The brutal murder of one of our own here in Linden, Amber Wilson, should serve as a wake-up call to many of us that crime is alive and well in these communities. The conventional wisdom would be, for many, that we should try to maybe hire more police officers, but with budgets being stretched to the limits that they are now, that's very unlikely. The other thoughts that come to mind are perhaps we should provide some sort of incentive to police officers, maybe give them some sort of tax break to have them live in town, because we know by having our police officers live in town, it creates a greater presence. But even with that, that wouldn't solve all our problems with crime. So I'm of the opinion that we have to have a different type of policing, and it's right in line with community watch groups. However, with today's technology, we could take community watch to a whole nother level. The infrastructure is here. We have both Verizon and Comcast. Our city is wired. And with the new technology that's available, almost every home could have a camera installed. And imagine this. Imagine if a crime occurred on one street and you didn't have a camera, or there was no cameras, but maybe 2 or 3 blocks away, a resident had a camera, and all of a sudden they picked up 2 nefarious-looking characters walking down the street. Well, those particular characters would probably be considered suspects, okay? And again, with the type of cameras that are available now, the technology allows for some very clear and concise photos of individuals. Now, civil libertarians are going to argue that you're violating our constitutional rights, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think civil libertarians really understand or really are that concerned about crime. And I think we owe it to people who have been murdered, who are victims. The best way I feel that we can honor a person is to try to improve and try to prevent these type of things from happening again. And I just think there should be a push in this city for everybody, every homeowner, to have some sort of camera installed. They're cheap. The new technology, it's called PoE, Power over Ethernet, which means the same type of cable that you plug into your computer, you can plug into a camera and post it on the outside of your house, and they're very effective, and they're very inexpensive now. And I think we should just have a push in this city to try to have cameras located anywhere we can. I mean, I think there are going to be some who argue again that you're violating my civil liberties, but I always say, if you're not doing anything, then why should you be concerned? I say you can film me all day if you want. And I think if it saves one life, or if we catch one criminal, then we've done a great service to our community. I also feel that if we were to employ this technology, that maybe one day criminals would look at Linden the same way we look at other towns. I know when I was a kid, I would always drive through Clark, and as soon as I got across that border, I would drop down below the speed limit, because I knew when I went to Clark, if you went over the speed limit, you were getting pulled over. You made a right turn on red or did anything illegal, you were going to get pulled over. And I think if we had that kind of technology here in Linden, and we were using it, and we became known as a town that you just will not get away with a crime because everybody's watching. I think that it would be the way that we could honor those who have lost their lives, and I think that everybody should really consider that. And again, like I said earlier, none of us are immune to crime. The incident that happened in Linden, you know, it hits close to home because the young lady was a cheerleader and my daughter was a cheerleader in town. And she took a special interest in my daughter because my daughter was 13 years old and she was the youngest girl in the squad. And Amber basically took her under her wing, and Amber would report back to me and let me know when Brianna was doing something that she wasn't supposed to, or whether she was hanging with the wrong crowd. So, you know, we're losing our best and our brightest. And as recent as last Saturday, we had the misfortune of losing one of my relatives. One of my cousin's children was brutally murdered at a cookout that they were having. And some outsiders who weren't supposed to be there showed up. A fight broke out, and as he was trying to help one of his friends who was invited get away, he was gunned down, shot in the back, and he was 19 years old, visiting home from college, and he lost his life. It's a senseless death that our young people are suffering. And I just think that if we, to honor their lives, if we could just step it up a little bit ourselves and do a better job, and I think we have the ability to do that, and I think that every house who can afford it should have some sort of camera-based system, and I think that we need to go to our legislators and find out what type of funding or grants are available for areas in town where we could place these cameras, but I believe a camera is a very useful crime-fighting tool. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Cosby Hurley.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have a lot of stuff that I want to report, but before I do, I want to send condolences to Amber Wilson's family and just let the public know that there is a reward through Union County Crime Stoppers up to $5,000, but if you wanted to help increase the reward to help find the killer of Linden's Amber Wilson, you can make any type of a donation you like at the police department until next Friday, 24 hours a day. And it's in my opinion, I've seen it happen before, the higher the reward, the more tips you get, the more credible they usually are. So if anybody can, please consider making a donation through next Friday. Union County Crime Stoppers, and any amount. And the police department will be accepting that at the desk. We have, from the engineering department, I have a report. The underground gasoline tank at the LMPC, we know it was there. It was removed last week. It had quite a few holes in it, and we're going to test the soil. The soil has been placed in the parking lot of the multipurpose center, so the testing should be done, and the results should be back in our engineering department by the 23rd. So I have my fingers crossed that we don't have any serious contamination there. The community development sidewalk contractor is scheduled to start approximately July 25th, and their contract is $80,000. Again, this is not city funding. If we don't have all of the sidewalks listed, if we come in short, we may in the future do a change order to add more sidewalks that were damaged by trees or have deteriorated over the years. So if you hear in the future that there's going to be an additional, it's not city funding, it's simply some more of the grant money. We also had an issue on Alberta Avenue, and to make a long story short, the contractor had to amend the amount to $2,300 some odd dollars, but this is all community development grant money. Basically what we're doing is getting rid of a huge puddle that is due to sub pumps in the area of Alberta, so the residents can have some relief in that area. From the Housing Authority, they had received several grants, and 1601 property to 1551 property both received brand new refrigerators for all of the tenants. That's ongoing. The director of the Housing Authority has proposed an increase in the utilities refund for the neighbors, and she's working through HUD to increase it from $18 to $45 for the residents who are affected and have to pay their utility bills. Just another report from the Housing Authority. there was a savings of $8,000 from their sewage bill because they put in recently, well, a few months ago, high-efficiency toilets. So consider your toilet when you are, no, it's not funny, she's laughing. When you are doing, things in the home, high efficiency will save you money. So just to put that out there. And congratulations to Mrs. Shirley Rouse, who is going to be the resident commissioner in the 1425 building. And advanced congratulations to Mr. Sam Jones, who's on tonight to replace a commissioner from the Housing Authority that actually resigned. We have recycling. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on recycling because I do want to sit with, we have to talk to legal and still Public Works Department. But there's a lot of things that are going on, and our recycling committee met. The mayor was there. We had environmental commissioners in the meeting. Just so everybody is understanding, we want you to recycle. It's not just because we're saving the planet little by little, but we're also generating revenue for the city of Linden. If you do not recycle, you will get one warning. If you are still, found to be violating the recycling ordinance, you're going to get, it's a warning, then you're going to get, a violation. The third time, you're going to get a summons, and you're going to have a mandatory fine. So please recycle. We also are opening up to some of the local businesses, specifically Wood Avenue. They don't have to pay a vendor for their recyclables. The mayor had made that suggestion, which was a great suggestion, to do that service for our Wood Avenue business neighbors. It would help us increase our revenue and minimize their costs for trash removal. There's a lot of other things that we're trying to plan and do in recycling. I'll let you guys know that at a later date. We had a community meeting in June, and one of the main things that came out of it was how the community relates with the police. Councilman Armstead talked about what can we do. We have to have better relationships with the police. I agree. And we had planned to have a meeting anyway, a presentation of sorts, just so that the community knows the police behave a certain way, and this is why they do certain things. So we have lots of issues. There was a proposal made to maybe have a committee that is informal, and you wouldn't have to be afraid to go to the police, not just for complaints, but for anything. So there will be a meeting. The mayor's going to plan it, and it's going to be hosted here at City Hall. All of Linden residents are encouraged to come, see the police, women and men that patrol your areas, and get information that'll help you so that you feel a little better or at ease, if nothing else, when you're dealing with the police people. From the 5th Ward, I'd like to welcome Ebony Cutts. She's a new business to Linden. She's located at 1226 East St. George's Avenue, and she specializes in women only, specifically hair loss, cancer patients, and it's good to see someone coming and doing a good service. She's a new business, so I just wanted to welcome her. The mayor, I believe, is going to attend her grand opening on Friday, so welcome to the neighborhood. And other than that, I don't have anything else specific for the 5th Ward, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Sadowski.
Thank you, Council President. Just a few short remarks. First, as mentioned before, the city probably at the end of July will start fixing the sidewalks. These are the sidewalks that were affected by the trees. I received quite a few phone calls. We put down the addresses. I walked the ward. We gave them in to the city. If for some reason we missed your sidewalk when they go fix it, please give me a call, and we'll put you on the second list. Last week, I was up in Emma Place with personnel from the engineering department. They were looking at some of the groundwater that was coming there, and according to them, there may be something defective. They are checking into it. Once they find out something, I will let the people there know. Number of people are getting calls on this. Number of people are having garage sales. It's the perfect time. Please, though, remember, if you do have one, you need a city permit. And you can't put these signs all over the city. So please, get the permit so we don't have people, your neighbors, calling up and saying you're having an illegal garage sale. The county just advised me, in fact, beginning of the week, that they are going to go through with the soccer field at Wheeler Park. They will start, I guess, sometime in August. They were supposed to start in May, but it was sort of canceled. Now it's back. So they will be building that, hoping to have it ready for the fall. I really would like personally to offer my condolences to the family of Amber Wilson. It was a tragedy, and as a parent myself, I don't know how I would feel if one of my children were killed. So please, I offer them my condolences. Even during the summer, I get a few calls from the senior citizens, from the different organizations. Some of them were talking about the heat and so on, but please, there's some basic rules. Stay cool, drink a lot of water. If you have neighbors who are seniors, please check on them, because they just may need your help with this hot weather. So please, don't be intrusive, but please check on them. On Linden Avenue, right by Sixth School, come the fall, I talked to a lot of the residents there. They will be making a bus stop for the school on Linden Avenue. Some of the parking signs are off now, but we will get them fixed, so there is equal parking. So that is coming up. If there's anything that you would like to talk to me about or complain about, or even say the city is doing a good job, please give me a call. My home phone is 908-862-0749. If I'm not there, really, my wife is usually home. Leave her the message. I will definitely get back to you. Please have a good summer and a safe summer. That concludes my...
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sheehy?
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to say that the sidewalk list is in. Any further sidewalks to be put on for next year. And I would like to thank the tree crew in the city of Linden, especially the supervisor, Craig Beecher. I don't think there's a dead tree in the 7th Ward. They did an outstanding job. And now, if you have any trims for trees, now they're going to go on for next year. And I'd like to thank the Recreation Department for paving Melnick Park. They did the basketball court looks great. And we're going to finally be doing the fence in Buchanan Street Park this summer. And we're going to be paving South Wood from 14th Street to 17th. And while the contractor's there, he's going to pave all the holes that the utilities put in the ground there between the highway and 14th. And I'd like to put in everybody's mind September to Remember. September to Remember is a volunteer event that's put on by the Cultural Committee in the city of Linden. If anybody wants to join the Culture Committee or volunteer for that day for September 1st is September to Remember this year, please call me, 862-2983. We can use any help at all. And the Culture Committee is a great organization. If you would like to join or just help that day, please call me. That's the end of my report, sir.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Yamakaitis?
Thank you, Mr. President. From the Board of Health, the mosquito season has arrived. All residents are asked to check their property for any standing water which may allow mosquitoes to breed. Also, if you are aware of any vacant houses with swimming pools, contact the Health Department at 474-8422 with these addresses so that the properties can be referred to the Union County Bureau of Mosquito Control for treatment. We just recently had a treatment over at the Brook on Cranford Avenue. So we had a very wet spring. Many of you probably are seeing a lot of issues with mosquitoes, so please make sure you don't have any standing water in your yards. For the 8th Ward report, the paving of the basketball court at St. Mark's is complete. One of the basketball hoops on the court was damaged during pavement, but I am told that it will be repaired shortly. And due to the quick-moving thunderstorm last month, we lost 2 more trees in McGilvery Park. I've requested new plantings by our Shade Tree Commission, but unfortunately, this will not probably occur until late fall of this year. We are also scheduled to receive a playground equipment upgrade at McGilvery for next year. As a follow-up to the 8th Ward Community Meeting in June, I would also like to remind residents to not park so close to the corners, in front of fire hydrants, or on sidewalks. This was one of the main topics that many of the residents of the 8th Ward were complaining about. The police department were there. Tickets will be issued, so please be aware of that. The summer youth workers have been out painting yellow curbing, so take notice of where you're parking and be considerate of others. And just a reminder, the second annual 5th and 8th Ward Community Picnic will be held on August 19th at St. Mark's Park this year. One of the highlights that we're preparing for this year, Councilwoman Cosby Hurling and I, we're planning a volleyball tournament between the 5th and 8th Ward, so we'll see who is going to be the winners of that. So please save the date and come out for a fun afternoon. And I would also like to express my condolences to the family of 8th Ward resident Amber Duncan Wilson. Linden lost one of its best and brightest. Anyone you spoke to that knew Amber, they had nothing but good things to say. Many teenagers today would just, they're in their own little world. This was a girl that would go out and help the elderly neighbors, bring in her groceries. It's a shame, and we need to really be aware of what's going on our streets and protect our own. So, again, I'd like to express my condolences to her family. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Frazier?
Thank you, Council President. First of all, I'd like to start out by advising everyone that the Hawkeye Sanctuary Trail is doing very, very well. That's our new trail that was opened on May 30th. A number of people have already been using it, and I've gotten several emails, matter of fact, numerous emails, indicating that it's a real fine thing for our city of Linden. So if you haven't used it yet, please do so. I know the weather is not conducive towards a long walk, but it's really great if you want to see the wildlife. At the same time, too, I did get a few complaints from various people using the trail saying that people are walking their dogs on the trail. This is not a dog walking trail. It's a nature trail. Dogs do not belong there. As a matter of fact, there are signs posted right now indicating no dogs. I love dogs. I happen to have a beautiful Siberian Husky. However, she and other dogs don't belong on the trail because it's a wildlife refuge. If you bring dogs there, then all of a sudden you're going to start scaring away the wildlife. Wildlife, they're not dumb critters. They pick up scent really quick. So please, do not walk your dog there. If indeed you do and you're seen, you're going to pay quite a summons. Okay? Moving on, I want to counter what my 6th Ward colleague said regarding garage sales. It is the garage sale season right now, and sure, a lot of people want to get rid of things, and one person's loss is another person's treasure. So garage sales do add to that. However, at the same time, you need a permit. And the point I want to make is, please, when you do get that permit, the city clerk passes out literature telling you the things to do and not to do. And there are several things not to do, such as don't put signage on telephone poles, street poles, or on city property. Now, city property is usually considered the area between the curb and the sidewalk, usually, all right? Signage for garage sales don't belong there. And some people forget about it and leave the signage up, and the next thing, it's blowing around in the street. And it, quite frankly, affects the dignity of all of our properties as well as our community. So signage like that does not belong there. With regards to the 9th Ward, happy to say if residents have noticed on Dewood Terrace that markings already have been inscribed by our Department of Engineering, indicating that very soon, that paving will be done, and from the area between Swarthmore Road to Livingston Road. okay? Again, Livingston Road down to Swarthmore. So this paving should occur rather quickly. With that, Mr. President, that concludes my report, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kozinski.
Thank you, Council President. For the month of June, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected $3,265, and the Linden Fire Department responded to 460 total calls. Construction Code issued 175 permits and 121 certificates and made $51,354. And I would like to echo for some 10th Ward specific issues that really aren't specific to our ward alone. With the heat, it's so very important to take care of yourself and your neighbors. And really anyone who is susceptible to these heat-related issues, such as children, pets, even yourself. I mean, some people push themselves to the limit. And please be aware, contact the city if you have a neighbor that you know should be out and they're not out, things like that. Let's make sure we look out for each other too. People with the tree requests, I'd just like to let you know that, as Councilman Sheehy said, we're looking forward to the crew coming into the 10th Ward. They've done a good job on our emergency issues, and they work very hard, and I talk to them almost daily about tree requests and different issues relating to the areas that the city can control, and then there's areas that the city doesn't really have much control, and that's on the county roads. So I'm also in discussions, as well as some other council members here, about picking up the progress for our county roads, North Style Street and Raritan Road, and specifically in the 10th Ward. And I'm confident we're going to be able to work on that and get that done as soon as possible. Any emergency situations, though, as you know, are always taken care of as best we can, as quickly as we can. And in general, I'd like to thank the DPW and the Parks Department for the work they're doing all around the ward, and the children, teenagers that we hired to help. As one of my colleagues said, it does make a difference. It helps to see the curb, even though we don't really necessarily need it painted, but the fact that it is a bright yellow and things like that help us. And I appreciate that, and I know some residents have come to me and wanted me to offer their appreciation for it. And with that being said, any other concerns anyone might have, they can reach me at 908-463-9234. And my email is akazinski@linden-nj.org. That concludes my report, Mr. Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Mayor, you have a report for us?
Yes, thank you, Council President. As was touched upon by Councilman Cozio, I think everybody sees that we got a new microphone system, and it's working very well, so people shouldn't have trouble hearing anymore as we've suffered through past years. And I just want to let everybody know that this did not come out of taxpayers' money. This come out of a special dedicated fund which Comcast gives the bulk of taxes to for public educational or governmental use. And Verizon gives us a little bit of money also, but this is a special account we saved over the years so that we could upgrade our sound system, and I think it's working very well. Also, Councilman Sheehy touched upon September to Remember for volunteers, but he didn't give the specifics, which I'd like to allude to. September to Remember is going to be September 1st. It's a street festival. We've had it for the last 3 years. It's very successful. We have a car show. We have food. We have live music, rides. We have vendors, kids' activities, eating contests, where we have eating hot dogs or cherry pies or pizzas or donuts. Again, that's very entertaining for everyone. And that's going to be from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Wood Avenue, September 1st to Saturday, and the rain date is going to be Sunday, September 2nd. I suggest everybody participates. It's a fun day. And it's an activity that Linden is proud of. And again, it's strictly volunteers from the Cultural Committee run by our president, Molly Lenz. Also, I'd like to mention kudos for New Star. That's a industry in the Tremley Point area. They donated money and the time and effort to beautify our library with landscaping, and it came out very nice. And again, that's what's important when you develop relationships not only with businesses who want to work for the benefit of the community. And again, I thank New Star. And with that said, I'd like to remind everybody that we also have our summer concert series in progress. In fact, they're having a concert tonight as we speak in the Robert Wood Bauer Promenade. You will see the schedule on the message sign that was put up by our Special Improvement District advertising the dates. I suggest you avail yourself of this free concert. It doesn't cost the city any money, and I'm just going to quickly read the benefactors who donate so that the taxpayers could enjoy free concerts in the city of Linden during the summer. Epicor, Mercer Coating, Phillips 66, Infinium, DuPont, Applebee's and Chevy's, Rosedale and Rose Hill Cemetery, Linden Boxing Association, Motion Credit Union, Unity Bank, S. Bertram Incorporated, Linden Firefighters Local 234 and Local 34, Supley and Clooney, Bayway Lumber, Linden Airport, Ditto Copy Machines, Villani Bus, Linden Educational Association, Linden Special Improvement District, ShopRite of Linden, Greener by Design, New Star Asphalt, General Magnaplate, Wyland Motor Coach, Linden Chamber of Commerce, Deerfield School Number 9 PTA, plus a lot of other anonymous and smaller donations. Again, all for the enjoyment of Linden residents, which is totally free. I'd also like to mention and thank Linden Police Department Chief Bavona, Captain Hart, and the officers who volunteered their time to provide security and escorts for Cardinal Jivish, who had he flew in from Krakow, Poland. He stood at St. Teresa's. We provided escorts at the airport and provided security for him. He was here for about 9 days. The police department did a tremendous job. Cardinal Jivish was, for people who don't know, the right-hand man to Pope John Paul II before he passed away. He was very instrumental behind the scenes with Pope John Paul II in getting the Berlin Wall torn down. So it was an honor for us in the city of Linden to host His Eminence, and I'm extremely proud of how our police department conducted themselves. And I'd like to thank the parish, St. Teresa's Parish, and Father Kroll for allowing Linden to have that honor. On another note, the red light cameras, as everyone I'm sure is aware, there's a bit of a controversy with the red light cameras with the amber light signal. So that everybody knows, those amber lights are timed by the state. The state statute for red lights requires that timing of that amber signal is based on the legal speed limit of that intersection. And every 6 months, the city of Linden had to certify that timing based on a legal speed limit, and our city engineer did that, certified it with his license, and sent it to the state of New Jersey. Well, it turns out that one smart lawyer looked up the statute for the red light cameras, and in it was a small clause that passed everybody's attention, saying that the amber signal should be timed based not on the legal speed limit, but on the real speed limit of 85% of the vehicles going through that intersection. Bad law. What that's saying is you don't have to abide by the legal speed limit. You could violate the law, and the state of New Jersey will assist you by giving you more of an amber signal to do so. Well, we are required by the state to abide by that statute and that law, so we had our police department with radar to go to the 3 intersections, and they're 4-way intersections, so that was 12 ways. We had to time 100 cars to make sure that their real speed limit not the legal speed limit, did not violate the amber signals that were on that intersection. We did so regardless of whether we used the legal speed limit based on the federal and state standards or this real speed limit based on the red light camera law. We still, the city of Linden and those three intersections fell under the required timing of the amber signal. Our city engineer certified it, sent it to the state, and we are waiting for the state to give us the go-ahead to start issuing all the summonses that we've been holding in abeyance for the violators of the red lights at those intersections. So I just wanted to clear that issue up because there's a lot of misconceptions about the red light cameras. And lastly, I'd like to just mention my heart and prayers go out to the Amber family. Myself and Chief Bavona have been in constant contact with Amber's family. We are trying to assist them in every way, shape, and form we can to ease their pain. Tomorrow will be the funeral. We will provide whatever is needed, escort-wise or anything else. And it was just a terrible tragedy, but I can assure you that number one, the streets of Linden are extremely safe. Our police department's out there. They are working hard with the Union County Homicide Squad, and we will apprehend the perpetrators and bring them to justice. End of report, Council
Thank you,
President.
Mr. Mayor. We're going to move into resolutions, 2012-273 through 2012-297. Public comments will be permitted for those specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions, which have been prepared by the city clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions. Does anyone wish to remove a resolution from 273 to 297? Am I right, Pat Hero? 277, 278, 281, 297. In the center, please, Mrs. Malik. 281, Ms. Sharpie. 277, 278, 280, 282, 283, 290, 291, 297. On my left. Motion on the others.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this particular time, we request approval on resolutions 273 to 297 with the following exceptions. Exception 277, 278, 281, 280, 282, 283, 291, 297. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Yes.
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 Council President,
Mr. Brown, Councilman Brown.
do we include 290 in there, or was that taken out?
290s included. I'm going to ask Pat Hero to come up and discuss and speak on 277.
Okay, Pat Hero on 277, and I'll batch if you don't mind with 278. This isn't the first time I've been up here, and unfortunately, as much as I'd like it to be the last time on this issue, I'm afraid it won't be the last. But still, the meter keeps chugging along, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Now, I understand this is a great law firm, and they do a fine job, but the problem is not with the law firm. The problem is with us getting involved in the redevelopment business. Remember, again, They say you have to repeat this 3 times. I know I've done it more than once, but we have some new members on the council. Remember, government does not belong in the redevelopment business. Thank you for your time. Save the taxpayers' money and get out of the redevelopment business. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sharpie on 277.
Mr. Sharpie, residing at 315 Second Avenue in Linden. You know, I only hear about these resolutions last night, you know, and as a taxpayer, you know, as councilman, you represent your each individual wards. You know, this backdoor and what's going on, this is ridiculous.
Mr. Sharpie, you also discussed
Okay, and as
278.
for this, the
Mr.
agreement
Sharpie,
appointing, okay,
Mr.
77 and 78,
I
yes,
just
I
wanted to
understand.
make that clear for the record.
And I'm like my neighbor here, we're not in the redevelopment business. And these council representative appointed by a certain person on here, and he knew who he is, and we keep dealing the same attorneys, same representative because of their political connections, and that's right, and their donations that they give to the particular people. The same attorneys use all the time because they get political donations. You know, they got to come to cease and stop to this. You know, it's really ridiculous. You know, it's really ridiculous. Same people used all the time because they make political donations to people on here. Now, this is getting to be ridiculous here. You know, when you're representing taxpayers, people that go out there and hurt their money. And 11 people deciding what goes on, what resolutions go on here because of their political ties. Now, the city is being cheated. And you've got to learn that the taxpayers are the bosses. They are your bosses. They're the ones that work hard every day and pay tax money. With the same political people being appointed to same jobs all the time. You know, this is ridiculous. I go out and work hard. I've been a citizen for 18 years in here, paying taxes every year. Every year it keeps going up,
President,
up, up, up.
Mr. President, why don't we stick to the facts over here, which are the 277, 278, please?
Thank you. I'm going to ask for a motion on 277, 278.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that resolutions 277 and 278 move forward for approval, and I seek a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 I thought someone else wanted to have a comment on 278. I have 2 strikes here.
Pat Hero spoke on both,
They was at the same time?
and Mr. Sharpie spoke on both.
I just want to make sure you had your opportunity to say 278 too. Yes. Okay. All right. Yes.
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 Yes. 280, Mr. Sharpie.
Yes, so on this, the mayor gave me a summary of it, and I also talked with my councilman on this. Like, part of this grant is supposed to be done through the Board of Education, am I correct on that? We discussed that before. You know, that it be set up with the superintendent, part of this coming from the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. I asked my daughter before she was given this program, since she just released, came out of the middle schools, and she informed me that she was not given this. So that this is for the next curriculum coming up, that be enforced with the Linden Board of Education, that these classes, there was a certain time period on, the mayor gave it to me. And part of this grant that comes from the state and be used for drug and alcohol, that the students be given the opportunity to have these classes during the curriculum, during their health courses and all that be set up with the Board of Ed. This grant money is used for the education so that the kids have an understanding how to stay away from alcohol and drugs. and to be put into curriculum with the Board of Ed. Due that this grant is for the education for the kids, that they be given the opportunity in both the middle schools and the high schools. Due to this is for alcohol and drug related.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sharpie. Motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion on Resolution 280, seek approval, request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Yes. 281, Pat Hero. Mrs. Malik, 281.
I just would like to have someone explain, or what constitutes this corrective action plan and what prompted it. Can someone just enlighten me a little bit on this?
Mrs. Zach.
Yes. Mrs. Malik, every year the municipality is required to have an audit performed. The audit is performed, and there are certain recommendations that the auditors may find in the course of their audit. The items are listed towards the end of the audit report, known as certain recommendations. For example, if a department doesn't deposit their receipts within 48 hours, that's a violation of a specific statute. So what we try to do is, once we get the audit report, we put together a corrective action plan in order so that the department does not have the same discrepancies in the following year, so that their receipts will be deposited within 48 hours. There was a certain area where, say, for instance, in our planning board or zoning board, they would receive money, but they never stamped in the date of the check. So there was no way for the auditor to double check whether it was deposited within 48 hours. So through the corrective action plan, we put into effect that they make sure that they copy every check, state stamp it when it's received. So therefore, when the auditors come in to perform the audit, they can see that it was done properly. So that's what the corrective action plan is. It's for any department that a recommendation was requested, that we put together a plan so that this recommendation is fixed for the following year.
So this is the first time that we have this corrective action plan?
We do a corrective action plan every year.
Every year.
We're
Oh,
required,
okay.
But certain departments it may be police one year, maybe fire another year,
Okay.
have different recommendations.
All right. And when was the audit completed for the 2011?
The audit was completed in June.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Pat Hero.
Okay, and is this corrective action plan a public record so that anyone could obtain it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for a motion on 281, seeking approval, and request a second.
Second.
Thank you.
Yes.
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 Yes. I'd like to ask Mr. Sharpie to come up for 282.
This consultant corporation appraisal, now, what does this consultant do? To earn $30,000?
Mr. Frangella?
We're an appraisal expert for all the tax court matters that we have pending in front of the tax court.
What does the consultant do?
They prepare appraisals for trial at the tax court level.
Is this the only consultants we could use?
Can you use the microphone, please?
Is this the only consultant corporation that we could use? Is there other consultant corporations, is this a bid job, or these consultants, or Is it like Birdsong? Is it a consultant agency like that? I'd like to know. Because the last time Birdsong, I remember Birdsong Consultants.
Would
and
you
they'd be
allow Ms.
investigated
Fangella
by
to
the
answer
Attorney
that, please?
General. I'd like to know who these consultants are.
Appraisal Consultants is a firm of three top-notch, well-respected appraisers. They've been with the city for years. They charge the city one of the lowest hourly rates that I've seen at any other appraisers with the MAI designation that are out there. They do a fine job for us over the years.
Councilman Brown, you have input for
Just real quick,
Mr.
Mike.
Sharpie?
And in regards to the tax court, these are for cases of $1 million and up, correct?
Yes, the assessments are over $1 million. Some are below, that may have been affirmed at the county level, but the majority of them are over $1 million in assessments. And the city does have quite substantial, exposure on all these cases in front of the tax court.
Thank you, Mr. Fangella. Motion, please.
Make a motion on Resolution 282 and seek a second, please.
Second.
Thank you.
Yes.
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 Yes. Mr. Sharpie, would you like to speak on 283?
Mr. Jones here, has he worked for the Housing Authority before?
283?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh, yes, this one, appointing Mr. Florio, a member of the Board of Health. I'm sorry, we got these. Is this the one who's running for a political office in the 9th Ward? I know there's a Florio running in the 9th Ward.
I'm not aware of that.
I know there's...
Mr. President, Mr. Florio is a constituent in the 9th Ward.
Huh? He is on the
He is
ballot?
a constituent in the 9th Ward.
But he is on the ballot? I think he is, November?
I really don't know.
Any
I just have a
further?
question on it, that he's on the November ballot. I think there's 3 candidates.
Thank you. Motion on 283, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion on 283, seeking approval and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Yes. 290, Mr. Sharpie?
Council President, I think we voted on that.
We pulled that?
Yeah. That was Mr. Shopping.
All right. For the record, 290's been removed from the list temporarily.
So he can speak on it.
Mr. Sharpie? 290.
For you.
290's on or off?
No, it's on the agenda, but you asked for it to be pulled for further discussion.
Yes, because I'm one of the persons on there for the housing. My name was put up there for the housing. I
So your
have,
comments are?
yes, in my hometown in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, where I was born, I was on the Housing Authority in Pottsville. If anyone wants to look it up, they can. I have dealings with the Housing Authority, and the Housing Authority in Pottsville, Pennsylvania was under federal housing, but I was on that, me and my father both. So I just wanted to let the city informed on that. I've been on.
Councilwoman, you have a response to? Motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Make a motion on Resolution 290 for approval and seek a second.
Second.
Thank you.
Yes.
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 Yes. Mr. Sharpie, 291?
Yeah, resolution authorizing the execution agreement between the City of Linden and the Linden Supervisors Association. When is this contract, when does it go into existence?
Mr. Roth?
All this is a authorization for the mayor to sign the contract. The MOU was resolved maybe 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago with the terms. We had trouble with the union getting them to come in and sign the document, not the employees, but the local. So we had some issues getting them here. They finally signed off. Now the mayor has to sign off.
They had to pay 2% of their medical and 2% of their pension?
No, as I said, Mr. Pratt, the MOU was executed some time ago, prior to the law coming into effect.
So we'll be paying for the next year, us city taxpayers will be paying for their medical and toward their pension, correct?
Well, we pay for the pension anyway.
Well, we're still paying, the taxpayers are going to have to suffer for the next year paying their medical, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say suffer, that's the agreement.
Unless they voluntarily pay their own medical, correct? 2%?
Well, they couldn't I mean, the two different things.
Motion, please.
Make a motion on 291 and request a second. please.
Second.
Thank you.
Yes.
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 Yes. That will bring us to 297. Pat Hero?
Pat Hero, We Chief Road. Want to know, first of all, was this contract put out to bid?
Mr. Hudak?
This was an emergency contract. We're under the Union County Utilities Authority, the contractor, the designated MRF facility that we were to send our trash to, the Type 13 trash. We're not bankrupt, so starting June 20th, we had to find an alternate. This was one of the designated MRF alternates by the UCUA within the county waste flow plan. We executed an emergency contract with them, and it's in effect pending the UCUA's designation of a new MRF facility to take the Type 13 waste to.
Okay, my next question is, what is type 13 waste?
That's, Type 13 waste is the bulky waste pickup when they have trash days.
Okay, how long is the contract for? What time period?
For 60 days, or the UCUA designating a new facility to take it to, whichever occurs first.
Why are they the ones that tell us?
Because there's the laws governing solid waste disposal and flow under the state. The county has designated a solid waste plan. All facilities within the county and all municipalities and entities have to comply with that plan. You have to go to one of the facilities designated through the UCUA as a designated plan, and that's part of the waste flow regulations.
So the county designates certain facilities?
The Union County Utilities Authority does, yes.
That sounds pretty interesting. Let's see what other thing is. Okay, I guess this needs further looking into, so thank you for your time, and thank you for your answers.
Thank you. Mr. Sharpie on 297.
Currently, where is the city of Linden taking this at the current time? Mr. Sheehy, can you help me with that?
Oh, sure, I'd be glad to help you, Mr. Sharpie. Right now, we're taking it to Elizabeth. This is only temporary. To simplify it, The company we were dealing with, we were dumping our trash, the stuff that we put out on the curb on Wednesdays. The company went out of business. So right now, we're in the middle of, like Mrs. Hero said, the county's going to almost tell us where we have to take our garbage. Right now, we are taking it temporary to Elizabeth. Myself, I would like to keep on taking it to Elizabeth, but like we were saying, they're going to dictate to us. It will go out for bid, but they're going to give us the list of people, the list of vendors that we could put in a bid with. And, you know, there's a big mileage factor. You know, I would like to stay with the closest facility instead of sending our trucks, you know, to the Meadowlands, for say. So we're actually, honestly, we're in limbo right now. We're waiting on a decision from the UCA on this. So as of right now, we will be taking our trash, our trash, the Wednesday trash, to Elizabeth for now.
And none of it can go to Rawway, just Elizabeth, right?
No, your regular garbage, you're not listening. The regular garbage goes to Rawway.
Right.
The Wednesday trash, that's the problem we're having with right now. The Wednesday trash is going to go for temporary till the decision is made to Elizabeth. They are going to give us a vendors list where we could ship to, but myself and the committee, we feel that the closer the vendor, the better. But, you know, it's just still in limbo. It's in negotiations right now. We're like in an emergency situation right now. It's
But-
only temporary where we're taking it to Elizabeth till the UCA makes a decision.
Could we, as the city council...
30 seconds, Mr. Sharpie.
Could we have 6 months to the end of the year, carries to the end of the year to Elizabeth? Could city council vote for the next 6 months, designate us to continue going where we've been going? Yes or no?
We're waiting on the decision from the UCA. They're gonna tell us, you know, they're gonna give us a vendors list where, you know, I would like myself and the committee, the Public Works Committee and the Public Works Director would love to just take it to Elizabeth. We can make 2-3 round trips to Elizabeth. To make 1 round trip to the Meadowlands, we'll be lucky if we can make 1 trip to the Meadowlands and back in a day. So we're, you know, I really don't want to get into this discussion with this, because like I'm saying, it's a temporary, an emergency situation right now. Where
Thank you,
we're
Mr.
taking our
Sheehy.
trash to Elizabeth. Thank you, sir.
I ask for a motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Request the motion for approval on Resolution 297 and seek a second.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Council, in order to take into consideration public input into proposed ordinances, will allow 3 minutes for each individual to speak on an ordinance on first reading. Council will not answer any questions. Anyone is reminded in the public hearing on these ordinances will be held next month's council meeting. We have 5640. Does anybody wish to make any comments? Has everybody signed the list that wish to make comments on the ordinances? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. please.
Ordinance 5640, an ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan for all employees of the city of Linden, passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995. Add Schedule 4, GG4, Secretary of the Environmental Commission, part-time.
Has everybody had an opportunity to sign the list for 5640?
They don't have to sign up this.
Let's see who wants to speak.
They don't just raise their hand.
Anybody wishes to make a comment on 5640? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for an introduction of ordinance 5640 and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
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 Yes. 5641.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 traffic shall be amended as follows. 7-33 handicap parking regulations, 7-33.1A handicap parking on street, delete 633 Meacham Avenue, one space.
Comments from the public, please. Motion, please.
Mr. President, I move for introduction of ordinance 5641 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colvin?
Yes.
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Frazier?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5642.
Bond ordinance providing for an appropriation of $245,000 for the acquisition of computer-related equipment for the finance department and authorizing the issuance of $232,750 in bonds or notes for financing part of the appropriations.
Thank you. Public comments, please. Please, come up.
Pat Hero, Wheatsheaf Road. First of all, I just wanted to say that personally, I would rather have it say by the finance department instead of for the finance department, because underneath it says computer equipment for all non-public safety departments. So it seems to indicate that it's for more than just the finance department, so that's a little bit confusing. So maybe if you change that, the language to buy, it might be a little bit more, because they're buying it for everybody else. And while this does seem a large amount of money, I understand from various people I've spoken to that the computers are in really, really bad shape, and that there are more than just computers and like programs like Word and such. There's also like servers, which are very expensive. So while I was talked to about also with the police department, I understood that after they spoke to me why we needed the money for that, and I can understand this also now. So thanks for your time.
Council President,
Councilman?
if I may,
Yes.
Pat, you're very gracious. We did speak after the last meeting, and I did offer, if you were to reach out, but either by phone or by email, however, I would have gotten you any information on this. I did not hear from you, but I think with the brief talk that we had, we did explain really in what sad condition the technology throughout the entire district was allowed to get to. And I will still keep that offer if you'd like the details, even though this is on introduction.
Okay.
You know, I'd be happy to get you the details and show you where we were and where we're going. And hopefully we will have a plan, and we will put a little bit away every year, hopefully, to keep us current, so we will not be in the hole that we were in. I just wanted to mention that.
Actually, I just wanted to save you some time, and that the last time I spoke with you, I actually did ask, I think, for that list. And I really don't think that I'm going to be contacting people, because I figure everybody's busy here, and believe me, we've had more than enough things this past month. So I generally won't reach out to maybe talk unless it's like a major emergency or something. So I did ask beforehand. So if you could provide me with that list, I would appreciate it, like I told you at the last meeting. Thanks.
Further comments on 5642? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for an introduction of ordinance 5642 and request a second.
Second.
Yes.
Koziol.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Sheedy.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes, 5643, is anybody in the public, would you read that, please?
An ordinance amending the code of the city of Orleans, Chapter 3 by adding new section 3-11 entitled Interference with Retail or Wholesale Practices.
Comments from the members of the public? Motion, please.
I move for the introduction of Resolution 56-43 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Koziol.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Sheedy.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Move into comments from members of the public in attendance. Everybody get an opportunity to sign in to speak. I'd like to ask Pat Hero to come up.
My name is Pat Hero. I live on Wheat Chief Road. Tonight, I think all our thoughts are with the family and friends of Amber Duncan Wilson, a beautiful, talented young woman who was murdered on July 9th, 2012. We were incredibly blessed to have her as part of our community, and we are all devastated by what happened to take her from us. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we are tied together in the single garment of destiny, caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, and whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. In doing research for this talk, I found these chilling statistics from teenviolencestatistics.com. I learned that an average of 15 young people are killed each day in the United States, that youth between the ages of 12 and 24 are the most likely group to be the victims of a violent crime. Among teens, homicide is the leading cause of death for African Americans and the second leading cause for Latinos. I am shocked and heartbroken by these statistics because I know behind the statistics lies the stories of people loved and lives lost, just like Amber's. Indeed, I have cried many tears over many stories I've read in the paper and wondered what I could do. Perhaps speaking out publicly is a start. Who is responsible for Amber's death? I don't know the name of her killer, but that person is responsible. Not the government, not the police, not the victim. Only her killer is responsible. I hope he repents, if it is a he, and turns himself in. I want to close with what Senator Robert Kennedy said. I want to speak about the mindless menace of violence in America, which again stains our land and every one of our lives. It is not the concern of any one race. The victims of the violence are black and white, rich and poor, young and old, famous and unknown. They are most important of all, human beings, whom other human beings loved and needed. No one, no matter where one lives or what one does, can be certain who will suffer from some senseless act of bloodshed. And yet it goes on and on and on in this country of ours. Why? What has violence ever accomplished? What has it ever created? Yet we seemingly tolerate a rising level of violence that ignores our common humanity and our claims to civilization alike. I hope the people, the police, and the government can all work together to reduce the violence plaguing our community. We have a lot of questions now. Maybe we can get a community meeting and start maybe finding some answers to this. I just hope that we can all work together. And if you have any suggestions, please, maybe if we could just do even one thing each month to make a better world for us all, because this violence has got to stop. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Sharpie?
I also like to wish my condolences to the Amber's parents, and it was a sad thing. It could have been my child, too. And I, too, with Robert Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, and the whole Kennedy family have the same thing. And back in 1992, one of our governors, Jim Florio, signed into law a curfew law. And it involves the children. And it's a curfew law that in the state of Pennsylvania, it used to be a curfew. You used to have to be in at 9 o'clock. The siren would blow, and you would have to be off the street at home with your parents doing your homework. Here, the library is open till 9 o'clock. I would suggest that here in the city of Linden, a curfew law for juveniles, teenagers, that they be off the street between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning. And the chief, we discussed this and everything, you know. My child, I know, during the summer months when it gets dark, I want her home, 9 o'clock. I don't want her out to 10. I don't want her hanging down a neighbor's house or anything. There's a lot of crime and incidents that happen with teenagers today is when the sun goes down. And starting in, we can't bring it up this month, but maybe next month before school goes back, so we have a curfew law for juveniles between the ages of 16 and 18. And the library closed. The law would exempt children engaged in school-related activities ongoing or going into or from work, or at a religious environment or community cultural activities. But if they weren't at that, they should be at home at 10 o'clock. If they're seen on the streets after 10 o'clock, the police officer could then bring that child home to their parent and say, your child is out after 10 o'clock, they should be at home. And it would save a lot of lives for kids getting involved in dangerous situations, you know, and it would save a life, you know, or somebody carjacking or running a stop sign, which they do. My daughter last night found someone running a stop sign at the new four-way stop over here. She came down here and you all seen her come in, and the police instructed me to go down and make a report on it. You know, they don't stop anymore, you know. It doesn't matter if it's broad daylight or anything. You don't come to a complete stop. You know, a little child was going across in the walk zone with her bike, and she almost got hit. You know, things like that could happen at night. We never know. But for next month, if we could bring on the agenda that here in the city of Linden, we have a juvenile curfew law with schools starting up, you know. Now we can let them go. We're through this. We lost Amber, but God forbid if... There's also an adult law, too. Patterson ran it, and that would go from 18 to 21. There's also an adult law, too, that could save a life, you know. We have kids hanging out here at Dunkin' Donuts. I mentioned it to you many a time, what was going on. And it's still going on, you know, but maybe if council next month could bring this up, and if there's any squabbles, the parents let them deal with the consequences when police chief or one of their officers pick them up and bring them home, you know. You know, as parents, I want my children in at 9 o'clock, unless they're at the library, but 10 I want them home.
30 seconds, Mr. Shaw.
That's all I have to share.
Thank you. Henry Mack.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President of City Council, council members, and to the Chief of Police of the City of Linden. I bring great greetings from the community of the fantastic job that have occurred on our behalf in the city of Linden. The people that I speak for, if you will, I humble myself on their behalf. Those that cannot drive tonight, they ask me, as a humane person, to thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. City Council, Chief. And I personally want to say to my sisters, due to their support, one of my beloved sisters that stood with me during the count-like service, I thank you, honorable people. To the council peoples, Linden want me to tell you, the peoples that can't get here, they thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. City Council. I never heard so many unique things tonight. I did not take a thorough look at it, but I heard the votes go across the board, meaning the confidence that I have in the peoples that have been elected. I trust you. I want to make it crystal clear that Michelle Yamatidis and Peter Brown immediately hit the ground when the cloud hit their ward. They were there for humanity, and I respectfully came in behalf of the peoples, not as a clubhouse, but humanity. They asked me to say, we thank you. We thank you for your kind service that we know. That's why we stand together as a people belonging to humanity and not the pigmentation of skin. We want that crystal clear in Union County. We thank you.
Thank you, sir. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, August 20th, 2012 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting. Tuesday, August 21st, 2012, 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, August 21st, 2012 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Clerk?
Yes.
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 Hello, Ms. Hero.